Hello and welcome to another closed-end fund mastery tutorial video for the CEF Mastery Super Screener and Interactive Report. Since this is a tutorial for my subscribers, I'm going to forego the unnecessary introduction to CEF Mastery page and dive right into the video. But for those of you that are not familiar with closed-end fund mastery ranks and scores 326 of the highest yielding closed-end funds trading today. Now, just a little side note, I am intending to still come out with the previously announced videos, but this was kind of an unexpected development that I wanted to get out there so I would be able to post the link to the YouTube video in my newsletter. If you are a Closed-End Fund Mastery subscriber, you are aware that Closed-End Fund Mastery comes out once a week. Initially, I had planned for CEF Mastery to become a daily report. However, after posting several days of a report, I realized that the day-to-day fluctuations in NAV prices for individual funds were not much to talk about. However, on a week-to-week basis, the performance changes in these funds, as measured by Closed-End Fund Mastery, can be quite significant. Therefore, I thought the weekly report was more suitable. However, there will be times when there are fluctuations in a closed-end fund's net asset value price. And just as an example, we're going to look at PHK using Closed-End Fund Connect. You can see there are numerous times where there are significant price fluctuations that span over just maybe a couple of days. And if you happen to be holding one of these funds, you may not want to wait for the weekly report to come out to see how much benefit or damage these price fluctuations have done to your fund's performances. So I thought it would be nifty if there was a possible way to help my subscribers to get a peek at their fund's performances prior to the weekly publication of the Closed-End Fund Mastery Report. This week I spent an entire day going through the formulas that comprise the current estimated portion of the Closed-End Fund Mastery Super Screener to see if it was viable to pull such a thing off, and I was pleasantly surprised that such a thing could be done. And then the following day, I spent the entire day incorporating it into the weekly Closed-End Fund Mastery Report, and this new feature is called FOMO, located on the FOMO tab, fear of missing out. I call it that because if you have a fund that is rising or falling rapidly during the week in between reporting periods for the Closed-End Fund Mastery Super Screener, you don't have to wait for the weekly report before you can make an informed decision on your current fund. Here's how it works. As you can see from the first few rows at the top, the FOMO tab is laid out in a format that you're already quite familiar with, so there's no learning curve involved here. All that is required from you is to enter some basic information about the fund in these yellow shaded boxes right here. And the information it's looking for can be found on any free available scanner. Now, to avoid having to flip back and forth from screen to screen, I already pre-filled the data for the fund that we're going to look at first, and that fund is PHK. The information we're looking for is the current net asset value, premium discount, and the current distribution rate. That's it. Once you get that information, you plug it into the shaded cells. Of course, don't forget the ticker symbol, and it automatically populates the fields above, with the top instance of the ticker being the results from the most recently filed Closed-End Fund Mastery Report. And then with the information we just entered down here in the yellow shaded boxes, that updates the information in the current estimated portion of the Closed-End Fund Mastery Super Screener in the row below. So as you can see, since the last Closed-End Fund Mastery Report was filed till today, which is before the next Closed-End Fund Mastery weekly report comes out, the current NAV has decreased 5 cents a share. Now here's the one part that might confuse you, but you'll get used to it. You can see here under the net asset value percentage change, in the top row you have negative 0.9%. This is the percentage change from the last Closed-End Fund Mastery report compared to the previous filing date performance return. And then in the line below it, the negative 1.9% is today's net asset value that you entered, its performance again since the fund last reported. But down here under today's NAV, you have a percentage decline of 1.09%. This is the difference between the previous closed-end fund mastery report and the information for today's net asset value that you entered today. And it works the same way for the discount premium percentage change. The 5.2% premium has decreased 2.3% from the fund's reported discount premium of 7.5%. And the discount premium percentage change for today from the information you entered is down 2% from the fund's reported discount premium. But down here, today's discount premium is 5.36% higher than the closed-end fund mastery's reported current discount premium of 5.2%. Now, if you watched my GOF versus PDI video, you'll know that in certain circumstances, an increase to premium is actually beneficial for the fund because it allows them to raise more money on the open market with the use of their ATM facility. Now, the example I just showed you is not that drastic, but again, remember I said I created this for those severe or extreme market fluctuations that you just had to know what those price fluctuations are doing on the performance of your funds. So we're going to go ahead and simulate an extreme price fluctuation in the fund's net asset value share price and its discount premium to see how it's going to affect the fund's estimated monthly distributions remaining portion of the report and the fund's final score. So right off the top of my head, let's just say that the fund's net asset value has dropped from the closed-end fund mastery report's reported $4.60 a share for PHK to $4 a share. And you can already see that the estimated monthly distributions remaining decreased even further to -58, and the final score dropped from 7 to 4. And then we change the discount premium. Let's say it loses its premium altogether and goes -1%. Now that change doesn't affect the estimated monthly distributions remaining, but it does affect the final score, and it actually increased it by 1 from the 4 that was just there. And the reason being is because a closed-end fund actually improves its current score when a fund's discount premium performance in relation to the fund's net asset value performance improves, signifying that the fund purchased today presents a better bargain than when the fund last reported. In other words, you're purchasing more value for less money. Now, the today yield percentage, that's basically just for show or a placeholder so that you can enter it up here so you can compare the two side by side. It's not really necessary. And because the estimated income gains to distribution is calculated in another workbook, I wasn't able to import those formulas to be able to work an estimation out for that. But that's basically all there is to it. The estimated monthly distributions remaining and the final score would be reported the same by closed-end fund mastery had they used the numbers that you input today. So this new feature gives you an update on the current estimated portion of the report without having to wait for the actual report every week. This concludes the tutorial for the FOMO feature. I hope you found it useful, but more importantly, I hope you find the new feature useful. Until our next video, many happy returns.